Hello students, welcome back to the class. Uh, I can say today's class is very interesting and then very amazing facts we are going to learn in this chapter, means in this topic. We are in the chapter sexual reproduction in the flowering plants. In last session we discussed about anther walls, isn't it? Means if I draw you rough structure of the anther, in yesterday session we already discussed about the anther walls. Okay, now for the today's session we are going to focus only this area. Okay, sporogenous tissue. The sporogenous tissue, whatever is there, no, how it is going to be formed and what actually this sporogenous tissue is going to form when the anther is going to be matured. Okay, now about this all thing we are going to learn today, so please be concentrate for your today's class, children. So let us start. See, be have a patience and please note it down whatever the things I am going to tell you. Okay, each and every point clearly first I am going to dictate you so that you can write it down. Okay, today for today's class you should make notes. Okay, now because when I am focusing on the explanation, your focus should be both in explanation and then repeat the video twice, then next you are going to write the point wise. Okay, now next, sporogenous tissue. What actually is sporogenous tissue? When the anther is young children, there will be a group of compactly, see here, compactly they are arranged. There will be a compactly arranged homogeneous cells. Homogeneous means the all cells will be in a same structure and there will be meristematic. That tissue is called what? Sporogenous tissue, and then they will be present at the center of microsporangium. Now this is microsporangium. After the development you can call it as pollen sac, but now it is microsporangium only. What did I say? What actually the sporogenous tissue? When anther is young, what happens? A group of compactly arranged homogeneous means all the cells will be in same size. Homogeneous cells called sporogenous tissue. Sporogenous tissue occupies, where they occupies? They occupies in the center of microsporangium. Center of what? Microsporangium. Okay, now see, today I am just going somewhat extend to the NCERT. First let me talk about sporogenous tissue, then next I am going to explain you how actually this sporogenous tissue will occur, how actually the anther is going to be formed. Each and everything we are going to discuss today. Okay, now here in this this sporogenous tissue will be there. No, this sporogenous tissue, each cell will be giving you pollen grains when this cell is going to be forming cell division, because these homogeneous cells or else homogeneous group tissue is of which tissue? Meristematic tissue. As they are meristematic, they will be having the capacity of cell division. Okay, so now we are going to learn about the very specialized thing, that is about microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis. What it is meant? What actually microsporogenesis? Micro means small, sporo means spore formation, genesis means formation. Here small spore formation will be there. Those spores are called microspores or else pollen grains. Pollen grains again nothing but male gametophyte. Male gametophyte means what? The male gametophyte are the parts where the male gametes are carrying. Okay, is that clear? That's good. Now let us write what actually is the definition of microsporogenesis is. What actually the definition? The formation of what? The formation of haploid, the formation of haploid microspores, the formation of haploid microspore from diploid microspore mother cell, microspore mother cell or MMC, inside whom? Inside the microsporangia, inside the microsporangia, or else I can call it as what? Pollen sac. By which division? By mitosis. By which division, children? Sorry, by meiotic division. By which? Meiotic division, not the mitosis, as this is the sex organs. In the sex organ there will be always the meiotic division will takes place. There will be due to meiotic division. This process is called what? Microsporogenesis. Okay na? See, the formation of what? Haploid microspores. Haploid in the sense n number. From what? Diploid microspore mother cell. Now these all will be diploid. This sporogenous tissue, each cell is called microspore mother cell. See, we also came from our mother. Okay na? Now our mother is what? Our parent. Now here this is the daughter cell. Microspore is daughter cell. Who is parent? Microspore mother cell. That's what it is called, microspore mother cell. MMC. Microspore mother cell. Inside where? Inside the microsporangium. This is microsporangium, or else I can also call it as what? Pollen sac. That's what. Okay. Formation of haploid microspore from diploid microspore mother cell inside what? Inside the microsporangium. Okay. If I tell you, just if I focus only one cell, okay, I am just focusing only one cell. If this is the MMC, okay, microspore mother cell. This microspore mother cell will undergo which division? Meiotic division. Okay, meiotic means meiosis. Then what happens? For one meiosis division, how many cells you will be getting? 4 cells you are getting. Okay, that 4 cells are this one. Okay, what these are? These are called what? Microspores. What will be the ploidy? Ploidy means here the number of DNA will be 2n, here each will be of haploid. Okay na? Simple. Formation of haploid microspore from diploid microspore mother cell in what? In microsporangium by meiotic division is called microsporogenesis. There is no difficulty only. You don't just confuse. Okay. Be concentrated. Then you will be getting everything. Okay, children? Yes. Next. Here, this haploid microspore formed from a single microspore mother cell are arranged in the form of 4 cells called microspore tetrad. These 4 cells I can call it as not only microspore, I can call it as microspore tetrad. Why? Because they are from one single mother cell. By the meiotic division there will be formation of 4 microspore tetrads. Okay, 1 MMC is giving 4 microspores. Okay, if there are 40 mmcs, what will be the number of microspores? Comment on. Okay, you should give answer in the comment box. If there are 40 mmcs in a microsporangium, just imagine 40 mmcs are there, then after maturity how many microspores will form from the 40 mmc? Okay, now as anther matures and dehydrate means the water will goes evaporated, the microspores dissociate from each other. Now they are what? Now they are attached each other by the help of a chemical not by the yes, here see, when these microspores are formed from mmc, these four will be attached together. They will be attached together by a chemical called callase. By a chemical called what? Callase. Now this callase chemical will be interrupted, will be destroyed by a enzyme, callase enzyme, and this callase enzyme is produced by tapetal layer. Okay, about this we are going to discuss again in the next session. Just keep in mind, when mmc is divided meiotically, then what happens? There will be formation of 4 haploid microspore tetrad. When you are going to call this microspore tetrad, they should be attached in form. And now what happens? This microspore tetrads are separated. These microspore tetrads are what? When as the anther matures and dehydrated, the microspore dissociate from each other. They dissociate from each other and develop into what? Pollen grain. And develop into what? Pollen grain. Okay, due to which enzyme? Due to callase enzyme. Okay, callase enzyme. I hope everybody is understanding clearly. What is the difference, children, from microspore to pollen grain? Microspores will be small in size also, and then they are attached each other by a chemical. Which chemical I can say? Callose chemical. This callose chemical is dissociated with the action of which enzyme? Callase enzyme. Because of that, what happens? These microspores were dissociated to form a pollen grain. Okay, now inside each microsporangium, there will be several thousands of microspores. Okay, there will be several thousands I am talking. There will be several thousands of microspores are formed that are released with the dehiscence of anther. When they are going to be released, when this sporogenous tissue means mmc, many of the mmcs are going to be divided, then what happens? Anther is simultaneously goes mature. When they are going to be doubled, 4, see, 1 is going to form a 4, means there will be number will be increased. When the number of cells are going to be increased, when anther is going to mature, due to the pressure the dehiscence will be there, means this portion will be opened up. Okay, stomium portion will be opened up, and then formed pollen grains are just come outside. This is about the microsporogenesis. Okay, I hope everybody is clear about this. Now let me explain the one of the very finest explanation I can say in this chapter, that is how actually the anther is going to be developed. Okay, now how actually it is going to be formed in a tetragonal manner. Okay, now each and everything your people are going to learn, but you should be having a concentration towards this subject only. Okay, and it is just out of NCERT. Only for extra knowledge I am going to explain you. And then this is quite difficult and then quite confusable, but don't confuse. Okay, now First, let me write the heading, that is the development of anther. Development of what, children? Anther. How actually the anther is going to be developed. This is only for MCQ. I am clarifying now because this development process, and then the development process is not there for your NCERT, and then for theory also it is not there. Only for MCQ questions somewhat may be asked. That's what I am going to explain you. Okay, here let me talk you about how actually the anthers. Okay, the anthers appear as outgrowth like structure initially, means whenever the flower is going to be formed, only there will be a small outgrowth. Okay, means notary now chikkorinda first small, we will be small kids first, then next we will mature, then we will become young, then next we are going to having a maturation stage, then next there will be senescence. Same like that, each and every part in the plant also same like that will be. Okay, now first what happens, anthers are just appear small outgrowth like structure initially. Okay, initial stages, which shows oval shape structure, which shows which structure, oval shape. And means when anther is young, if you cut that, it will be showing only oval shape, not tetragonal. Okay, oval shape or else round shape it will be. But as it goes on mature, it will become what, tetragonal. So at this side I am going to draw the structure, and then here I am going to write the explanation. Okay, now initially when anther is young, children, what it will be, it just looks like initially when anther is young, what it will be, which shape, it will be spherical or else oval, shaped. Okay, now this is spherical or oval shape. At this stage, it is a mass of meristematic cells which is surrounded by a single celled thick outer layer called epidermis. Means there will be mass of cells inside, which is of meristematic cells, and this is epidermis layer, and these all are what, meristematic cells. We are talking when anther is young, children. Okay, now at this stage the meristem it is having what, mass of meristematic cells, mass of which cells, meristematic cells, which is surrounded by single celled thick outer layer, called what, epidermis. Okay, epidermis. Do you remember when I was explaining the wall layers of anther, the outermost layer was what, epidermis, means that epidermis is this one only. Okay, now since from initial young stage of anther the epidermis is there, but there is no presence of endothecium, middle layer, and then tapetum. Did I explain here? Did I showed? No, because after maturity they are going to be formed. Okay, now next, here what happens when this young anther is there, when it is going on maturing, first what happens, the vascular bundles are formed at the middle region. First what happens, vascular bundles. First, vascular bundles are formed at middle region, which is forming connective children. I hope everybody is understanding. Okay, here what happens, the vascular bundles are going to be formed. This vascular bundle portion itself is called what? Connective. Okay, now simultaneously what happens, group of cells which are located below the epidermis, simultaneously when these vascular bundles are going to be formed, no, simultaneously when group of cells are there which are located below epidermis in vertical row of hypodermis region at the four corners becomes large, means here one cell will become large. Let me draw once again. Means now just imagine this anther is quite what it is enlarged. Quite enlarged means here some of the corner cells will become larger and then already vascular bundles were formed. Okay, and then there will be small meristematic cells also. These all are the small meristematic cells. At the four corners what happened, children, the below epidermal cell, this is epidermal layer, isn't it? Below the epidermal layer at the four corners, one of the cell will become larger. Okay, now while when the vascular bundle is formed, no, simultaneously what happens, the four corners become larger, means some of the cells below the epidermis at the vertical rows, the hypodermis region, hypo means just below the epidermis, at the four corners become large. These cells are called archisporial cells. Okay, now these cells are called what? I will be writing here archisporial cells. Okay, archisporial cells. Let me write what actually these are. The cells which are below the epidermis, the cells which are below the epidermis, okay, at four corners they become what? Large. They become large in size. These cells are called what? Are called archisporial cells. Okay, these cells are called what? Archisporial cells. Okay, these archisporial cells divide periclinally to form periclinally. Okay, means if one cell is there, means I am just focusing archisporial. If this is archisporial, there will be periclinal division. Okay, na? Periclinal division. Again periclinal division. Okay, na? Now this diagram I am showing here. Okay, na? Archisporial cells divide. How? The archisporial cells divide periclinally. They divide periclinally to form a primary parietal cells and primary sporogenous cell. Means now if I draw this somewhat matured, what happens here? This one archisporial cell will be having periclinal division. Okay, this is periclinal division. And there will be vascular bundles, that is, this is the young connective. Okay, and after that there will be all the meristematic cells will be surrounded here. Here what happens, this periclinal, let me finish it off. This archisporial cell, when it is having the periclinal division, to form what, there will be two cells now. Okay, here only one cell is there. See, now after division there will be two cells. Here in these two, one is of primary parietal cell, one is of primary parietal cell. Okay, next second is of primary sporogenous cell, primary sporogenous cell. Okay na, means ಇದು ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಆರ್ಕಿಸ್ಪೋರಿಯಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಬರೀ ಒಂದೇ ಇತ್ತು, ಹೌದಾ? ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಂಥರ್ ಮೆಚೂರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ, ವೆನ್ ಆಂಥರ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಮೆಚೂರ್, ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ಕಿಸ್ಪೋರಿಯಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ periclinally to give you two cells. Okay, in this two cell, one is primary parietal cell and then one more is primary sporogenous cell. Okay, did you got sporogenous? Yes, just now we explained out. Means here what happens, these this one, let me write here only to clarify you. The primary parietal cell, the primary parietal cell is giving you undergo further periclinal and periclinal means like this, anticlinal means like this. Okay, periclinal, anticlinal, anti periclinal. Okay, these primary parietal cells will undergo further periclinal and anticlinal division to form a series of 3 to 5 layers, making the walls of anther. Okay, means the primary parietal cells are responsible for the formation of anther wall layers, that is endothecium and middle layer, and last one is tapetum. Okay, can I ask a question? From where actually endothecium, middle layer and tapetum arise? From the parietal cell, primary parietal cell. From where this primary parietal cell occur? From the where I wrote archisporial cell. Archisporial cell will be divided periclinally to giving you two cells, those are primary parietal cells and then primary sporogenous cells. Now this primary sporogenous cell will be giving you sporogenous tissue. Okay na, this primary sporogenous cell, which one? The second one, the primary sporogenous cell, after division it is giving you what? Sporogenous tissue. Sporogenous what? Tissue. Okay na, this is how actually the sporogenous tissue and then endothecium middle layer are going to be formed. Actually it is there is a lengthy of explanation about that. I am going to explain you now, don't worry about that. Okay children, see here in the primary see the primary parietal cell is giving you endothelium, middle layer and then tapetum. Now my question is whether the outer wall layer of anther, that is epidermis, is arrived from parietal cell, yes or no? Comment box, okay, you should comment it. If it is yes, why? If it is no, why? You should tell me the reason also, okay now here in primary sporogenous cell, when it is after maturity, after this primary sporogenous cell will be giving you what? Sporogenous tissue. Here in primary sporogenous cell, these cells are divided by mitotically, okay, these cells are divided by which division? Mitotic division, okay, to form what? To form sporogenous cells, Later these sporogenous cells differentiated into, later what happens? This sporogenous cells differentiated when anther is going to be mature, it is differentiated into what? MMC, that is microspore mother cell. Each MMC is devised to form a haploid microspore. Just now I explained. Now each MMC is divided by meiotic division to form what? Microspore tetrad. By which process? The microsporogenesis. Microspore tetrad will form from the MMC. That process is called what? Microsporogenesis. At initial stage, all 4 microspores are attached together with the help of the callose layer. I explained about this, okay. This group of microspore is called what? Microspore tetrad, okay. After some time what happens? This callose layer is dissolved. That callose layer is dissolved by which enzyme? Callase enzyme. The callase enzyme is secreted by whom? Tapetum layer. The callase enzyme is secreted by whom? The tapetum layer. This is all about the development of the anther, children, okay na. When this is about the very beautiful explanation, see what happens when this periclinal division will be there, no? When archisporial cell will be there, it is divided periclinally to form 2 cells. One is primary parietal cell, another one is primary sporogenous cell. Primary parietal cell is giving you anther wall layers, endothelium, middle layer and tapetum. And then primary sporogenous cell is giving you primary sporogenous cell is giving you sporogenous tissue. By which division? By mitotic division. Once this sporogenous tissue is occupied, then that tissues, each cell is MMC. MMC will be undergoes meiotic division. Don't get confused. There is no necessity of getting confusion because I am clearly explained each and everything here, okay na. In here we are going to winding up this class today. In the next session we are going to learn about somewhat different kinds about this, okay. In the next session we are going to learn about the pollen grain structure, okay na. Thank you.